Hello, friends, and I join you for a very exhausted 103rd day of Fun with Cheese. Now, why might one say one is exhausted? It's kind of the topic of today's show. Since we're in the 27th day of the greatest month of the year, celebrating dairy with shirts like these, one has to have a dairy breakfast. And the show does go on. And did it. You guys showed up in droves of people. Eileen Pankratz, I saw you there. And many other Pankratses that came through the line. And we waited, and you gave us 15 minutes, and we adjusted, and that line flew. And when I mean flew, we had 36 cars deep, and once the fryers hit, those lines moved. And when the dust settled, we had served 950 people in a little less than 4 hours. And that, for our dairy breakfast, is pretty amazing. Now, if you missed ours and you want to go to another dairy breakfast, tomorrow, the Colby FFA alumni is holding their dairy breakfast at the Colby Lion Shelter in downtown Colby, right by the high school. And I've been informed that they are going to be expecting around 2,000 people. Now, just wait before you say, wow, 2,000 people. This is their normal, okay? This is what they get on dairy farms when they go. And everybody has a normal. And the fact that they want to attempt it and give you an offering of it. And the amazing thing we saw from our dairy breakfast today is the offering of things that were there. Applesauce. Yes, it comes from real apple trees. We had real maple syrup from our school forest. We had cheese curds from Mullins, Dairy State, and Nasonville Dairy. We had, sausage from Smith Brothers. We had Krusty's. Okay, so you want to make the stuff, it's Krusty's. You follow the recipe and put it on a griddle and fry it up. It's Krusty's mix and water. It doesn't get any more crazy than that. We had butter. We had sweetened dried cranberries. Yes, sweetened dried cranberries, because the Crazen is patented and owned. That name is owned by Ocean Spray, something you didn't know. So sweetened dries are anything else that anybody wants to call a dehydrated, sweetened cranberry. And you got to try those. Butter, I don't know if I mentioned that. And then you got to try Weber's milk. Hello. And the cool thing was, we saw families going home and having a breakfast with their family. That was the most amazing thing that we saw, and that people were able to sit down in a different setting and share their breakfast and ponder upon the fact that the farmers brought every piece of this breakfast to them. Now, 950, that's 200 more we normally serve at the park. We had a whole lot less garbage because you guys took it all home, and so that was a benefit to us. And we ended our breakfast at noon, and we were cleaned up and ready to go home at 10 minutes to 1. That on our end was really awesome. But still, we worked really hard. We hope you guys appreciated it, because it's a very Wisconsin thing to do. And coming up in the next week, I think, week and a half, I believe there's a big celebration coming up. And in order for us to celebrate correctly, over 15 years ago, a tradition was started in Marshfield by the Hiller family, and that was putting out flags. And tomorrow, the flagging of central Wisconsin will begin. And if you're in the Auburndale area and you would like to go flagging, you can meet the Girl Scout leaders who have done this for many years. They're going to meet on the east parking lot of the Auburndale Park at 6 o'clock. And then they're going to disseminate the flags, and then there's about 200 flags that go out in the Auburndale area around the village. This is something that they have done through thick and thin, through the the recession of 2007, 2008. But they came back with a vengeance, and now there are over 15,000 flags that are going to get put out by volunteers like you. If you want to go to Marshfield and help with the flagging, it's something you can do with your kids. It's going to be a beautiful day. You can push a cart. but you can do some. It's a very American thing, whereas dairy breakfasts are a very Wisconsin thing. But it's very cool. It'll have a drive-through. They'll have a map. They'll tell you where to go, and off you go. They even give you a little rod to poke the holes in the ground so that the flags tip out. It's a very scientific way of doing it. But awesome family, awesome way of doing things. You're wondering, what's 103? Yes, 103 goes to the sheep. The normal rectal temperature of a sheep is 103. And you go back to Easter, and I did biblical cheeses. Yes, they were doing sheep's milk cheese there at that time. So, episode 103, yes, this is the temperature of the sheep. 102 was the cow. 101, we talked about the pig. And just some real mnemonic devices for you guys to remember. 103 is the normal rectal temperature of a cow, or of a sheep, I'm sorry. So, you guys be good. I'm reflecting on this. I might do fun with cheese from my favorite dairy breakfast of all, which is always somebody else's dairy breakfast and not our own. Not that I don't love ours, but my favorite is always going and enjoying someone else's that we didn't have to work at. So thank you for all your support. You guys be good. Sheep's at 103. Dairy breakfasts are very Wisconsin things, and you can help out with flagging in Auburndale tomorrow, 6 o'clock in the Auburndale Park parking lot. They're going to be getting together to put out those 200 flags. Talk to Carrie Kundinger. Reach out to her if you're interested. Otherwise, you guys, God bless, and remember that cheese is milk's step into immortality. We'll see you tomorrow for episode 104. Hope you learned something. Be good. God bless.